Hello everyone, it's Daryl. How y'all doing today? I'm doing pretty good. You can hear the furnace is fixed and it's nice and warm in here, even though it's minus 3 degrees outside, which has kind of put a damper on my willingness to finish putting away the Christmas stuff. It's the 13th of December and it's still sitting on my table because I've been too lazy to go out in the cold and the shed and get the stuff to put it away with. My goal is to get that done tomorrow. So everybody has to have a goal, right? Well, our goal tonight is helping a friend out from work. Got a 1991 Skidoo starter recoil. And it needs to be fixed. I guess the end of the rope broke off where the pull handle was. And somewhere in the process of it, the little clip here that engages the starter pawl, P-A-W-L as it's called on these mechanisms, has been bent and distorted in an odd shape here, and we'll show you how that works here in a minute. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this apart, replace this engagement spring, and install a new pull rope, check the spring, make sure it's wound properly. It feels like it's working okay, but we're going to double check it, make sure it's at the right tightness. And Rick had went out and bought, I told him he needed this new spring clip here, the engagement spring. Then he went to the part store or online, I don't know where exactly he got that, and he got the new spring. You can see the new spring here in this bag. And it came with the whole actual starter pawl repair kit, it's called. Let's see, I think that's what this is called. Yep, SPI starter pawl repair kit. So, from Grace Performance and looks like TDG or something, I'm not sure exactly, but anyway, it looks like everything we need is in here, probably more than we actually need to repair the starter mechanism. And this is not real hard to do. Some people are really intimidated by these starters and the pull rope assemblies, but yep, with a little bit of time and patience you can learn how to do it, and there's a lot of tricks to doing these, and everyone's a little bit different. I'm going to show you how to do the snowmobile one here right now. We're going to learn a little bit together actually, because this has a different kind of engagement center. Instead of having a arm that pops out, this one has an offset elongated cutout in it. I will show you like instead of being a round that's elliptical, you got an elongated cutout in there, so that when you put tension on the rope and pull the rope, this starter pawl catches on the pin and causes the whole center part to shift off to the side, which in turn kicks the pawl outward at a distended angle to catch on the actual starter cup that's mounted on the flywheel. So it's an interesting design, and for a big heavy-duty snowmobile engine you need something that's going to be really heavy-duty and more powerful than what you'd see in a smaller lawnmower or string trimmer engine. So we're going to do this. No special, well, one special tool required for this is, I noticed on here, most of these are screwed or bolted together. This one here has a snap ring clip on it. So we went out and we got the Snap-on brand Blue Point snap ring pliers. And these are reversible for internal or external snap rings. Right now I've got it set for the external snap ring, which is what this is because it's mounted on a shaft. And we're going to put this on here, squeeze, put it into the holes, squeeze a little bit, and pop that snap ring right off. But let me set up my camera, and we'll show you how this is all going to work. We're going to put you down on this stand here. I got a little tripod, like so. We're going to see how this works. Usually I got a cameraman working with me, but we're going to go this way and see how it works out today. So, alright. Alright, I'm going to start with the snap ring pliers. Find the little holes. We're going to insert each side into the hole, squeeze, and lift, just like that. And we'll set that aside. Now the snap ring's off. Now we're going to figure out how to unhook the spring. It looks like it comes right off. But we have a pair of pliers here too. Those always come in handy. We're going to loosen that like that. Let's see. He says. There we go. Just pops right off. Probably would have been easier with a screwdriver, but You can see we popped that right off there, and we'll set that aside. I always line things up in the order in which I took them off. I took this off first, then that. That way when I look at it, in case somehow I've forgotten how it comes off, I'll have it all set up in there in the order, and I know how it goes back together. Next, we're going to remove this D-clip right here, which is holding the whole assembly on still as well. So we're going to get our screw pliers in there, and we're going to get it at a different angle here though, I guess. Hang on, there we go, like so. Get our pliers in there. We're just going to snap it right out like that. Alright, now that's out. And we're going to put it so we know which side was facing up. Sometimes there's no difference which side should be up, sometimes there is. So we're going to set that facing up just like that. Now we can pull out the eccentric. This is called a eccentric cam. And the eccentric cam is out now. It looks okay, but we're going to set it there anyway. And then the outer ring of the starter pawl comes out. There you go, see that? That just lifted right out. Put that over here. Now all that's left is the actual recoil pulley, the rope, and the spring down inside. And again, we can see this rope seems to be working well. And we're probably not going to have to change the spring. So what we're going to do, if someone has tied a knot in this rope, we're going to pull a little tension off on the rope. We're going to undo this knot, and then we're going to let the rope go back inside of the pulley. So now we're just going to carefully let that wind up all the way in so the tension's off the spring. No more tension on the spring. This pulley should lift right off without the spring coming undone. And it did. The spring stayed securely fastened in the bottom. It feels like it's working right. It looks like it's in place. There's no bends or kinks in it. And we won't have to mess with the spring. The spring will be fine. So now we're going to unwind the rope. Now, as we can see, this pulley uses a wedge type system to retain the rope in place. The rope comes through a hole here into the locking area and is secured with a steel wedge. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our nose pliers, flip this over, get behind the wedge, and pry the wedge over and out like that. Flip it back over, remove the wedge, set it down. The long side goes to the left, so we're going to set that over there. And now we can just slide the rope right out like that. I'll show you here. We got the new rope ready to go. We've already burnt one end of the new rope with a flame so that it won't unravel. Alright, now here's a trick. The best way to do this, you're going to see, this is an interesting trick. The most important part when winding the spring tension is to not get it too tight so that the spring bottoms out when you get to the maximum extension of the rope. So we're going to drop the pulley back in place. Make sure it drops down in so it's caught. And we're going to put we're not going to put anything else on right now. We're going to leave that just like that. Because if we put this on, that'll block the rope. Yep, we're going to leave it just like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to look in here. We can see where the hole is for the rope to go into. We're going to start winding. We're going to wind the spring by hand, holding it like this and twisting it like that until it's at its maximum tightness, so you can't go any tighter. So it feels like the spring bottoms out. It's like 5 times, about 4 or 5 times, 3 or 4 times around. There we go. We got it all the way tight. We're holding it with 2 fingers. The rope comes in here, and the maximum tightness point is here. So what we want to do is we want to back it off until the rope hole lines up with the rope mounting place. That means we've got the pulley spring, the spring tightened as tight as you possibly can tighten it without reaching its maximum distance. So now that that's done, we're going to feed the rope in through the outer hole. Let's see if we get a better angle here. There we go. We're going to feed the rope in through here and then through the inner hole too at the same time, and then put our wedge in. That in. Now we're going to drop the wedge in with the long slanty side facing to the left. Push it down tight. Bring it over a little bit with our pliers here. And then we're going to let it wind up slowly. Not too fast. We're going to grab a hold of it actually and let it go in gradually while keeping one thumb on here to keep it from bouncing off of its spot on the spring latch. And there we go. We have free play here. We have lots of rope left over. And we know that no matter how far we pull this rope out, it's never going to max the spring out, because when the spring gets to the end of the rope, you're still going to have about 2 inches of travel left in the spring. It won't be maxed out. And now to be safe, we're going to take our pliers and we're going to work this wedge over with 2 hands, make sure it's holding that rope as tight as it possibly can be, so that rope never comes out. Look at that. Perfect. Just perfect. Alright. Now we're going to get a little solvent and we're going to clean the grease up a little bit on this pulley wheel. And then we're going to reassemble everything. And now we're ready to begin the final reassembly. I cleaned it up as best I could. Some of those are just grease stains and they're not going to come off very easy. I've laid out my new parts against the old parts and compared them all to make sure they're all the same and everything's on the correct angle. And everything certainly looks to be identical here. We can see the new parts are the same. We got new E-clips. You can see the worst part here that was bent the most is this engagement spring is like totally distorted and messed up. Take our pieces and set them back into place. The starter pawl, we'll call this, which is what it's called, because that's the extended part here is the pawl, which actually moves outward and engages the starter cup on the flywheel. Will go on first. I believe that will go in that hole there like that, because it's going to pivot like this. And now we have the starter pawl eccentric, and this is the eccentric. We call it eccentric because it's off center and not even. It slides back and forth, and that's going to go on. Hang on. Right, the eccentric just drops down into there and it spins smoothly all the way around like so. Alright, there's that. Next thing is the clip, which is going to go on and hold that in place. And let me see if I can figure out which side. Yep, this dull side is a rounded side and this side back here is a sharper side, so we're going to put it on like this with the sharper side facing upward. Alright, we've pushed the clip into place with the loop going over that arm there. And this arm sticks up and sticks over this edge here and will engage against this flat spot right here. And we'll show you in a minute how that works when I get the top snap ring back on. Next we take this top snap ring, spread it apart with our snap ring pliers, and set it down into place into the groove there. Alright, I got a cameraman, so we're going to watch this starter pawl and how as this comes around it'll lock into place and push this outward. It goes out like that, and then it stays out while you're pulling the engine over, and then as you let go of this to go back in, it drops back into place just like that. And that's how it works. So now all we got to do is take this back to my friend Rick. He will adjust the rope to how far out it needs to be. Like I say, you want it, you can probably pull it out, maybe I'd say probably that far, maybe 6 inches, so you have all that play with to start here and make it work, and it'll be good to go. You can fix this yourself. This would be like a $30 repair at the auto parts store, the snowmobile service shop. Small engine shops charge usually about 30 bucks to replace this or repair a starter. You can do it yourself, save some money, and have satisfaction and get back on the road quicker. Have a great day. Get out there and enjoy some snow. Oh, and I wanted to show you how to burn the rope. You have your fresh cut rope. It's all frayed. If you don't do anything with it, it's just going to keep getting more and more frayed all the way down, and it's going to end up being a problem. So I'm going to show you what we do with the rope. We take the rope like this, a lighter stick. We burn the rope with the lighter stick so it gets good and melty and soft on the end. Maybe even catches fire. There we go. I always want to do a video with fire, so there's our fire video. And then we take a rag or a piece of cloth and we brush the rope downward and away from us to flatten it out and get rid of the little lump on the end so that it'll still push through whatever space we need it to push through. And that's how we do the rope.